Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to also ask a supplementary question. Mr. Speaker, this matter is about a blogger who was murdered for expressing himself using the online media. We have had so many cases of this nature, Mr. Speaker, where bloggers have been killed and sometimes injured by the people who they are accusing. So even as the minister, the CS handles this case of Meru, we would like to know what the ministry has done over numerous other cases of this nature involving bloggers. So maybe the cabinet secretary can tell us more about cases of this nature which have been reported in the past. So that, this country is a country of freedom of speech, and we would like to have people expressing themselves in all manner of ways. But if we allow this incident to go on, then we will be curtailing freedom of speech in this country. So can the CS tell us about other cases of this nature which have happened in the past and what the ministry is doing about it?
Honorable Sochi, have you gone through the primary response by the CS, more particularly the last paragraph on page 3?
I have listened to the cabinet secretary very keenly.
Yes, he has, because that is one of the primary questions asked by the Senator for Meru, and the written response actually captures that. Nevertheless, Honorable CS, if you have anything to add beyond what you've already stated in your written response, you may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, over and above my written statement, I want to confirm, just as stated by the distinguished Senator Otsosi, that we have very many cases across the country of complaints, formally lodged complaints by bloggers and people in the cyberspace who have been threatened for expressing political or other views on the cyberspace. We have so many. And what we've done is that we have established a special unit within the DCI, which is handling threats and criminal activities that are being perpetuated on bloggers and people who exercise their freedom of expression through the cyberspace and get intimidated or harassed or punished for it. So we have set up a special unit which is monitoring, first of all, content that could be hateful or perhaps incite violence, but at the same time, that is the same unit that is responsible for protecting the freedom of expression through the cyberspace to ensure that bloggers and other people who express themselves do not attract criminal responses.
Senator Mbugua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would want the Cabinet Secretary to tell this House what assurance he can give to the family of the deceased and the residents of Meru County that because of the nature of this case, that there would be no interference whatsoever and justice will be served and seen to be served. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to assure the family and the community from where this crime has been committed that the government will ensure impartial and comprehensive investigations. And I also want to assure no one will interfere with this investigation. All the people where evidence had led us to investigate have been investigated, including the home of the governor, and nobody is above the law. Anybody who is linked will be punished, who is linked with this crime, and also nobody has the capability the capacity to try interfering with this matter, because we will not allow crime to thrive because of interference. Nobody is powerful enough to interfere with the statecraft, especially on sensitive issues like national security.
Senator Dulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank the CS for the information given on the blogger who's been killed. In line with the same, Mr. Speaker, I know there is so much threat on the ground, more specifically to the bloggers, and I'm sure the CS is aware sometimes security agencies are also used by those who are in power to silence those bloggers. And number two, Mr. Speaker, there are counties where governors are recruiting youths in the name of Jeshi Fulani, Jeshi this, and Jeshi that. I don't know whether he's aware, but it's something that is actually worrying in most of the counties, and I can speak for Isiolo County. The CS should be on top of those things, and if it is happening, they should look for ways of stopping those kind of arrangement. I thank you.
Honorable CS.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to confirm that the cyberspace is being used, first of all, for freedom of expression, which is very good, but also, as I've just intimated a while ago, it is being used to incite violence and go overboard, even in some of that expression. So that is the one side of the story. The other side of the story, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that there are people who may want to use security officials to try and suppress opinion and harass people who express alternative political opinions. We are aware. And I want to confirm what the distinguished senator for Isiolo County has said, that we have active investigations as we speak in 19 counties of leaders and other influencers who have organized teams of online people to harass, intimidate, incite violence using the cyberspace. I want to assure the nation that the idea of setting up criminal gangs and groups, either to physically attack people for political or other reason, the idea of organizing groups of criminals to attack opponents and people of a divergent opinion online and propagate violence, we have to deal with that problem before it goes overboard. And therefore, in 19 counties, we are actively investigating groups of both physical and online gangs that are propagating violence in the name of freedom of expression. We will take action on all the actors, whether they are persuaded to support the government or they are in the opposition, because it's a threat to our security as a nation, and we must arrest this matter before it goes out of hand.
Now, honorable senators, we will now proceed to question number 001 by the Senator for Kisumu, Professor Tom Ojenda. You may now proceed to ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will proceed to ask question number 001. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide a status update on investigations into the intercommunal clashes that occurred in Sondu town in Kisumu County, which lies on the border region of Kericho and Kisumu counties during the demonstrations in June and July 2023. 2, what progress has the government made in the disarmament of armed groups in the town? And C, what measures has the government put in place to provide peaceful coexistence and prevent a recurrence of intercommunal clashes in the town? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. In response to the question number 001 by the Senator for Kisumu County, Professor Mtaenda, I state as follows: that the conflict in Sondu area along the Kericho-Kisumu border first has been there for a long time intermittently. But the particular episode that is the subject matter of this statement occurred around June and July 2023, and it was caused by two things. First, a boundary dispute between two sub-counties, Soin, Sigoet in Kericho County, and Nyakach sub-county in Kisumu County. That town of Sondu, both counties have been claiming are within their respective counties. Secondly, these clashes and violence occurred as or was triggered by revenue collection activities where both counties, Kericho and Kisumu, wanted to collect revenue, as is in the case with several other neighboring counties across the country. What action has government done? We commenced investigations, but even the immediate action we did to de-escalate the violence was to post the elite general service unit a company or formation to de-escalate the violence and restore law and order. But other than the deployment, Honorable Speaker, we commenced investigations on all the criminals who were responsible for that mayhem, and we opened criminal suits and inquiries in the following cases. Inquest number 3 of 2023, the deceased person, Melzedek Odhiambo. It's pending before court. Inquest number 7/202, Brian Odhiambo Wino, pending under investigations. Number C, inquest number 9 of 202, Nicole Oko, pending under investigations. Number 4, inquest number 9/202, David Otieno, pending under investigations. Inquest number 9 of 203, Colin Sauma, pending under investigations. And inquest number 5 of 202, an arson case, which has also been subject to the inquiry. Further, inquiry case number 10 of 2023, Charles Auma, is pending before the ODPP for directions to prosecute. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, we believe that there are no armed groups in Sondu town. What we believe there is are groups and gangs of youths from both sides, the Kericho side and the Kisumu side, who arm themselves with bows and arrows from time to time. And what we've done to make sure that these gangs do not regroup is we have issued a security directive against bearing of arms on both sides. No one is supposed to carry arms. Even as I've said, we have deployed a very, very effective GSU contingent, which has been patrolling that area for close to a year now with a lot of success. Right, Honorable Speaker, these are the measures that the government has taken to promote peaceful coexistence